Okay, y'all, here's the ingredients, and you can use, mix, match, whatever you want to do. There's no measurements to this. You're gonna want some mushrooms. You're gonna want some seasoning blends. This is Asian 5-spice, Faro wasabi, and sweet soy glaze. If you do not have any of that, just get some soy sauce. You're gonna need some cornstarch. I like these. Those are sugar snap peas. Of course, some pork chops. Or any pork, it doesn't matter. Bok choy and Napa cabbage. You don't have to use Napa cabbage. Substitute. You can use regular cabbage. Hello, gentlemen and beautiful ladies. All right, y'all. I took out some pork chops this morning, right here. Normally, you throw them in a pan, put them in the oven. However you want to cook them is just fine. But I'm just not feeling it today. I don't even want to make a stir fry. So I'm going to make like a mugu gai pan deal. I'm just going to experiment. Have a whole bunch of green leafy vegetables. It's supposed to be good for me. So we're going to take these bad boys right here. Going to cut them real thin. Going to drop them in the water, boiling water, so that they just kind of cook that way. Then we're going to drop all these vegetables into that water and make a gravy. A very light gravy. And then what you're going to need to do is actually make rice. I'm not going to put it over a bed of rice because I'm just not feeling the rice today. But this is so easy to do. It's real quick and easy. Now, as far as the seasoning part, I'm going to experiment. I'm going to put some Asian 5-spice on there. Now, if you go to the Chinese restaurant and you order the little chicken wings, you know, on the buffet or even as the main course, this is usually what they're putting in the flour for frying it. Tastes really good. It's really got a lot of kick. And I'm gonna darken the gravy just a little bit with this sweet soy glaze. It's a little something else. And then I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of Faro wasabi. That's just gonna give it a little extra something. We'll see what happens. I don't really know what's happening because I really never follow a damn recipe. I just throw stuff in a pot and rock on. Alright guys, let's get it done. First thing I'm gonna do is put hot water in my wok and bring it to a boil. It's 4 cups. No rhyme or reason. I'm just thinking that's going to work. Now while that water's starting to boil, I'm going to go ahead and put some vegetables in this bowl. Basically just going to fill this bowl up. I don't have any exact measurements, as like I said. Now if you really like mushrooms, put more mushrooms in there. If you go to the restaurant, they're going to give you like 2 pieces of mushroom. That's because they're trying to save money. And, you know, the recipe can be changed, but they're not going to load you up with a whole bunch of mushrooms. I like mushrooms, so either cut them into 4s or just cut them in half. I'm cutting them in half because I kind of like that golf ball feel in my mouth. Alright, that's good right there. I'm only going to add 1 green onion. I have no reason why. Alright, word of advice. This is bok choy. This stuff is cheap. It's like $1 a pound or something. And it's at all the grocery stores. If you're going to make a stir fry or anything, even soup and stuff, you can cut this stuff and put it in there. It doesn't really have a flavor, but it has a real nice crunch. Got to get my coffee just right. Okay, visual appeal. Very important, right? You're pulling the leaves off of your bok choy, and it has these little sprouts. Don't cut those up. Just leave them the way they are if they're small like that, because they look good on the plate. No rhyme or reason, but they do look good, you know, because they're like a whole little tree branch, and people are going to think, wow, that's exotic. True story. I know every one of y'all can't wait for the day that I whack off a thumb or something. Now if you don't put whipped cream in your coffee, I'm sorry. Oh, it's so good, except it gets all up on your nose and stuff. Alright, we're going to cut up the Napa cabbage. We're going to cut all this into bite-sized pieces. Okay, this should be enough green leafy matter to keep a vegetarian happy. Okay, y'all, let's dig around in the pantry. Bean sprouts. I really like these things. They are better fresh. you know. But when you really need something and you want something, it ain't never around when it's there. So you got to take what you can get. It's kind of like 2 o'clock at the bar, but we won't go there. So I'm going to go ahead and drain these, and they're going to go in the mix too, just because I like them. My favorite part, the pork. We're going to cut this up in real little thin strips, real little small pieces. So when I drop in that boiling water, boom, they're basically cooked. And they'll be real tender and juicy that way. At least that's the plan that's running through my mind. Almost like you're filleting a fish, you want this stuff real thin. This technique also makes stuff that's really tough kind of tender. You can see how thin I made that. You don't want a sharp knife for that. Makes your life way easier. This is important. You see that little white thing hanging on the bottom? That's flavor, that's fat. Do not get rid of that. That's got to go in there. Alright y'all, at this point what I'm going to do is add some of this Asian 5 spice. If you can read that name, that's the stuff you need to get. Now, anyway, I'm going to put this on the meat just very lightly. Let it stick a little bit. I don't think it's going to stick when I drop it in the boiling water, but it'll go out through the water. Doesn't really matter. We're just going to give it a shot. Going to mix that all in. This stuff's got some kick to it. Now preparing all this stuff takes longer than actually cooking it. And this is the cornstarch. I have no clue how much I need. But that looks like it's going to do it. Now I don't remember what a paper mache recipe is all about, but I'm sure this stuff is in it. And as I've said before, give somebody that as a big old glass of milk. They're going to love you. Now at this point, if you only got soy sauce, here's what you want to do. Put it in. That's going to make my gravy. I'm hoping for a light brown gravy. I don't really want a dark gravy, but I'm going to take what I get. Alright y'all, let's get to cooking. You got your water boiling. Nothing fancy there. You want to add a little bit at a time. Kind of spread it around. If you dump it all in, it's going to cool the water off too much, which is what you don't want to do. Whoa, there we go. Cooking now. Now to be honest with y'all, that a little bit amount of meat right there should be putting in like a handful or two of vegetables into that, making the gravy, using less water of course, and making one single dish at a time. That's a normal proportion, but being a guy, that ain't gonna happen. You know how it works. You know, you pull in, you got a whole car full of groceries. You know, you're gonna load everything you can onto your arms to get it in the house for one trip. Well, that's what I'm doing today, is one trip. But to be smart, you really should make smaller portions in your wok. Unless you got one of them big giant woks, you know, like at the Chinese restaurant, which I'm sure you don't have. Add a little bit more. We're almost there. Bust them apart so that water can get everywhere. Okay guys, the meat is cooked. So we're going to go ahead and add the cornstarch. That's going to make a light gravy, hopefully. Sure cooled off the water. Going to bring it back to boil. Hopefully it'll start to thicken. Yeah, it's starting to thicken. You can see it already. It's got a nice color to it. Okay, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and add my vegetables. Now this is really going to cool it down. And pray you can get them all in there. I'm going to turn down my heat. Now check this out, y'all. Got a nice light gravy. And you can see, I hope you can see it. Hang on. See how it's kind of thick? That's exactly what I was going for. You're going to lay that over some rice, though I'm not making rice. But we won't know to what we have until I do the taste test. Alright, let me burn all my taste buds. And that'll guarantee that it tastes good. Wow. Not bad. Hey y'all, that's not bad, but it actually needed a little more soy sauce. It needs salt. Lots of salt. But I went ahead and added a little Faro wasabi just to one little area and tasted it. And that actually kicked it up to, I'm kind of fine-tuning the flavor here. But this is going to work. I didn't want to destroy what I already have by adding something way out of bounds. So we're going to go ahead and add this. Ooh, get back in there. Damn it. Ow. Ooh, ow. Gonna do another taste test. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Still needs a little bit of salt. So, one time around with this, that'll bring everything to the top, and it should cover it. Now remember, this is pretty much done. As soon as those vegetables hit that water, they're pretty much done, you know. But I'm screwing around here because I'm trying to get the flavor down, so the next time I make this, I can just do it on autopilot. Bam, 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 and then I'm done. You know, you experiment, and then you remember it, and then you get after it. Okay, final taste test. I always like banging on the pots. I don't know why. Maybe because I look like Bam Bam. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Thank you very much, thank you very much. It's there, it's perfect. I'm gonna dump this on some rice. Boom. One last thing. You got to have your bean sprouts. Time for the final taste test. Those bean sprouts are definitely gonna add something, because they kind of taste like dirt. Awesome. It's a real light flavor, y'all. Very light flavor. The wasabi, the furrow wasabi kicks it in a little bit, and then of course that 5 spices is just a background hint to it. Oh, it's got a nice aftertaste. That's nice. I could throw that in any Chinese restaurant, give it a fun, fancy name. People will be all over it. That's it, y'all. Bust out your wok, get busy. Get you one of these little cups for visual appeal. There you go. Serve it with a little soy sauce. People are going to put the soy sauce on there no matter what you do. It shouldn't need it. When the food hits the table, you shouldn't have anybody grabbing salt and pepper shakers and re-seasoning your food. It's kind of like putting ketchup on a good steak. Anyway, appreciate you watching.